Hello everybody, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is 1 o'clock on Thursday, which means it is time for a Facebook. I'm going to say YouTube every week from now until probably 2027. So we're on Facebook. It's Thursday. It's 1. That's what it is. All right, let me go ahead and just be sure that I am transmitillating over here. It appears that I am, so that is a good sign. All right, so here is our card today. It goes back to the annual catalog, to kind of a favorite. Oh, I've got some die cuts sitting here randomly. Those aren't on this card. Hey Bree, hi Glenda, hi Angie. Appreciate you guys coming. This uses the Hues of Happiness suite in the annual catalog, and it is gorgeous. One of its coolest things is that the dies in Blossoming Happiness cut out flowers and leaves from the Hues of Happiness DSP, which I don't know about you, but one of my favorite things is when dies cut out beautiful images in DSP. And this one, you get a lot of flowers and leaves out of one pack of DSP. So I hope you've got some if you don't get it now. Hi Marcia, hi Linda, appreciate you guys coming. So here's our card that you'll see on my blog tomorrow. All of the card cuts and everything will be there, so you don't even need to worry about it. This is on the inside. Not gonna lie, it uses a few extra things. I've got the Happiness Abounds suite, or bundle, sorry, as you might imagine. But I also use a couple of other shapes dies. So I have the Scalloped Contours dies, Stylish Shapes. Y'all, if you don't have Stylish Shapes, just get it, please. Trust me on that. And, of course, some rich stitched rectangles. I don't know why I said of course, but, you know, of course, you should be having those. These are things I figure everybody should have in their stash pile. Hey, Barbara. Hi, Marva. Hello, Amy. Appreciate you coming. Hi, Claudia. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with some watercoloring. Now, truth in advertising, watercoloring is not my bestest thing. So if it looks like, you know, what's-ski, just know that that's the case. So I am starting. I've got a aqua painter, and I've got the big old flat brush that Mr. Bob Ross would use to make pretty little clouds. But I am going to just color this background in Daffodil Delight and Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to do it by putting a little bit of re-inker with some water on an acrylic block, just like that. Okay, so we're going to start with Granny Apple Green. Okay, Carol Buckaloo, you do not get to laugh at me about my watercoloring skills, and there was an implied air quotes around skills, okay, because I am not very great at it, and you are amazing, okay? So I am just going to brush this watercolor, this Granny Apple Green, on the top. Now this is a much larger panel than I need because I want to be able to cut out my scalloped contour shape, okay? And I am going to do some like this, where I get some of that. You see it? In fact, what I'm trying to say is here, I am not being tidy. I don't want it to be tidy. Okay, and that'll probably go away, you know, when I clean everything up. So let's go ahead and clean this up and make sure I'm not going to be painting in more green. Clean up my palette here. And then I'm going to put a Daffodil Delight dot or two and a little bit of water. Like that. And we'll do the top. This is a little drier. I would love to tell you it was on purpose, but that would be not true. It was just the way it worked out. This is thick basic white cardstock, okay? So if you're watercoloring, I recommend that you use the thick, or use watercolor paper, or you can use the shimmery white paper. I wanted it to be pure white, and so I did not do that. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do here, because I can. Love painting loose. Yes, I understand what you meant there, Carol. Okay, what I'm going to do, I want a little more definition down there, and I do not need an Australian Shepherd hair. So I'm going to put a little more Granny Apple Green on there, and a little water. A little water out of here. And give it a little more like that. And a lot of this is covered up, and so you're probably thinking, gosh, Mary, I wonder what the point of all of that was. I don't know. I'm just playing now. Now I'm just playing. Okay. So in order to not have to go away and leave this for an hour and a half, I'm going to use my tool die. Oh, I'm sorry that it's not working on your iPad, Linda, but glad that it is working on your cell phone. Okay, so I'm just going to dry this up because I do not even sort of have the patience to wait. And you guys don't either. You'd be here like forever and a day. You know what I'm saying? Picking up what I'm putting down. So I'm just using the low setting on my heat tool here to give this a good drying. Nope, not dry, not dry, not dry. Hey Mary, move this stamp set. I'm guessing you meant love this stamp set. Yes, it's beautiful. You know, that's the only thing with having new catalogs is it's really, really easy to forget about the amazing stuff that we oohed and awed and loved so much when the annual catalog came out. So don't do that. Don't do that at all. Okay, that is dry. So instead of, I'm not gonna turn that on higher, hello. Okay, now I have two stamp flower images from Happiness Abounds. They're the little ones. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting them both on a small acrylic block like that, like so. And then I'm gonna take, I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight ink pad and I'm going to stamp that image in Daffodil Delight all over the card front. And I'm doing it on the Granny Apple Green section too. It's going to make it lighter. You won't be able to see it as much, but it will certainly be there. And what I'm going to do when I get this done is I am going to die cut it with the largest Scalloped Contours rectangle. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And do not move. Do not change your channel. I have control over your computer. I do not know why I have adopted an accent. I do not know, and I also do not know what accent it is. I don't believe it's real. All right. And so then we get this. And we'll poke out these little, these are the Chads. We had a discussion about this last week. These are the Chads. So far, none of them are hanging. They're all falling out as required. Okay, there we go. Get rid of the Chads. And then I'm going to use liquid glue to adhere this to the front of a basic white card base. Okay, but I folded that very, very badly. Very, very badly. Because, like, apparently I wasn't paying very close attention, so I'm going to fix that. Okay, give it a good burnish. Oh, you just got the DSP. You're going to love it, Linda. You really, really, really are. All right, I'm going to use some liquid glue. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that, especially coming from you. If y'all aren't watching Carol Buckaloo, Inky Bee Stampers, you should be. She is a consummate colorer, and watercoloring is one of her bestest things. She does it very well. All of her cards are gorgeous. Okay, so I've got this sticked down. I've got it sticked down, and I think it's almost even straight and stuff. Okay, so now what we're going to do, easy and also peasy, before you came, I used the dies in the Blossoming Happiness die set to cut out some DSP flowers. I've got one in Flirty Flamingo, one in Melon Mambo, and one in Daffodil Delight. And then I also cut out some leaves. Amazing. Beautiful leaves, beautiful flowers, no fussy cutting, no cuts were fussied on this card. All right. And then I have the largest stylish shaped squares, and it is going to be my sentiment. So let's go ahead and put the sentiment on first. We're going to stamp that in Melon Mambo. Hey, Mambo, Mambo Italia. Oh, no, that was really random. Sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp this. Come on now. Come on now. Don't do me that way. Just make sure it's kind of straight and right about, there. Looks good. Yeah, it's straight. Okay. We'll put that aside. And then I'm going to take some white baker's twine. And starting with a glue dot on the back, I want to wrap a couple of lengths of twine around this square. And I'm going to secure it right here with a glue dot like so. And here will be my white twine. And I'm going to wrap it twice. Uns y dos. Un y dos. Like that. And just be sure it's relatively straight. Yes, it is. Alrighty. Hey, Karen, appreciate you coming. Hey, Lenny, I was able to translate. I figured you meant you loved the set. It's easy to love, and I hope you will case it. Thank you. All right. So there we go. And now I'm going to pop this on. That's not a card front. Don't do that, Mary. I'm going to pop this onto my card front with Stampin' Dimensionals. Dimensionales. This is a relatively flattish card. I was going to see, did I use liquid glue there? Yeah, I used liquid. No, I used dimensionals. I don't know what I used right there. Hang on. Oh, yeah, dimensionals. Okay. Sorry, I was just reminding myself what I did. I mean, I made this last night and I have slept. So, as you might imagine, I have forgotten what I did there. Okay, we'll take these covers off. Hey, Stephanie, glad you would be willing to join me during lunch. Hopefully you won't get indigestion from trying to watch this at the same time that you're eating. All right, come on, little dimensional covers. We have got, speaking of eating, we got our smoker fixed last night at like 7 and put brisket and ribs on. So they got done this morning and they've been setting in the faux Cambreau and are about ready to get out and get processed. So we'll have them in the freezer, which is always nice. Okay. So back to my die cut flowers. Oh, yeah, I'll do this first and then I'll put the ribbon on, or the bow, sorry. We're going to just layer these flowers. Now, seriously, there are so many different colors of flowers in this DSP. I think you could use any color combination of the flowers. I truly do. I just picked these because I really like the pinks with the green and the yellow, but you could do whatever. So we're just going to stack them up like this, and then I'll put in some leaves in here. We're going to put this down just a little bit. Gonna put leaves like that, and then a leaf like this, and another leaf that is right here will be right there, and then we'll make a little bow, and that'll be kind of, the way it works. Okay, so let me pick up the top flowers, and I'm going to adhere this little guy right here with liquid glue. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Carol. This will be liquid glue. We'll put him right here. And then I'm going to use dimensionals on the top of my flower, okay? So that it's going to be adhered up here, and it'll pretty much have just a little bit of liquid glue down on the bottom. So that way it makes up the difference. So does it really matter which way is up on the flowers? No, not even a little bit. Flowers grow all different ways. So, you know, whatever makes you happy, that's what I would do. Now, I don't even think you really actually need liquid glue on the bottom of this. So I'm not going to do that, and that'll give me lots more options when it comes time to adhere my flowers of flowerness. A little more dimensionals here. Hey, Jan, appreciate you coming. And glad I can make you laugh. If I can make a nice card and make y'all have a good time and laugh, then my work here is done. Just saying. All right, so then we're going to put this guy down here. I put that a little too far down. You're probably thinking, Mary, why didn't you put your dimensionals on your card front instead of on your flower? Yes, that is an excellent, excellent question, and indicates that you've been paying attention when I've been making my cards. So you know what? That is exactly what I'm going to do, because you guys are really smart that way. Put those right there. Because it was bamboozling me. Not going to fib you. It was sort of bamboozling me right there. I don't know why, but it was. Okay? Just saying. Sometimes everybody gets bamboozled. Hi, Catherine. Right now I'm being bamboozled by these dimensionales and their covers. Stinking things. There we go. Okay. Now we can put him on like so. There we go. And I'm gonna put him right there. So remember, you can always slide a dimensional under. I mean, it really is pretty simple. Just take both covers off and give him a little tuck with your, your doohickey. Like right here, this doohickey. All right, so we'll put some liquid glue on the leaves and slide that one right there like so. I love that you can cut out these 5-leaf leaves even with the dies, which is really handy because they're really cute. In Granny Apple Green, they're really pretty. All right, we'll put that right there like that. And then we're going to put this like here like that. There we go. Okay. Now, for my bow, I'm going to cut 2 lengths of the basic white, and I am truly going overboard with the length because I'm doing a public bow. Bows in public are not easy for me. Okay, so I just doubled it up, cut it, and then I'll make a simple bow, and I'm going to wrap the bow right around this piece of baker's twine right here. Now, you could actually do an overhand knot onto the twine, but it will make your bow quite bulky. So I recommend that you just tie the bow like that. So basically you're doing a bunny rabbit bow with that piece of twine in the center. Did that make sense? All right. So there's no knot there. It'll stay just fine. And there you have our bow. I'll take a glossy dot in Daffodil Delight and put it next to the sentiment, and done, and done, and done, and done. And that is the card front. All right, now on the inside, I basically repeated the design, but instead of watercoloring another piece, I just took and used the Scalloped Contours dies and cut a piece of the Hues of Happiness paper. And I also cut, except that I didn't, so hang on, let me get that cut. I used the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th from the largest of the stitched rectangles to cut a piece of basic white. Hang tight, let me get that cut. Okay, all right. So sorry. I thought I did, but I didn't. We made a quick run to Tractor Supply. They called us yesterday to tell us that our 2 pallets of pine shavings were in, and we either needed to come get them today or they were going to give them to somebody else. So we needed the pine shavings, so we went and got them. And before I left, I thought to myself, Self, be sure you cut that rectangle. And then I didn't. Okay. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut a second sentiment. It's the one that says, wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. And we're going to print that. I think we should stamp it. Let's stamp it. Let's not print it. Let's stamp it. I'm going to pull it to me just a little bit. Hopefully you can still see it. But I want it to be sort of like straight and stuff. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to pull my Daffodil Delight back out. And I'm going to clean off my two little floral stampies right here. And put one on each side so that I can stamp them separately a little more easily. And we'll go ahead and stamp them down here like this. And I'm going to do the same on the other corner. The kitty catty corner. The kitty catty corner. Like that. And then if I was a smart girl, which I'm not really claiming, but sometimes it happens, I would pull out my envelope and do the same again. Do the same again. Now, an effectiveness engineer would say, oh, well, that was not very efficient. But, you know, it got the job done. It got the job done, I'm just saying. There we go. So that'll be our envelope in just a second, but let's go ahead and get this card finished up. Last night I was making this morning's card and I was putting everything away and I was like, oh, I probably ought to like assemble all of the pieces and parts. Huh. Okay. We're going to use a little liquid glue here to put this on our die cut right in the middle. Like a so. And then we'll pull out our, that's the sample. I shouldn't put another thing in there. That would be craziness. We'll pull out our card and adhere this to the inside with more liquid glue. Like that. And that paper's beautiful too. It's hard to cover them up, isn't it? But we do what we need to do and then we buy another pack. All right, there we go. So there's our card. And then I'm just going to put another piece of the DSP. This is the same design that I cut the flowers from. So I picked it so that I would get a little bit of pink and a little bit of, well, that's not yellow, but it's dark yellow. How about that? It's darker yellow. All right. And then we'll just stick it on here like this. Remember, no naked envelopes. Oh, there you go, Carol. Give it a go. Thanks, Shirley. And then we'll fussy cut this. And we'll be, as they say in some industry somewhere, done-ske. And then I'm going to go in and pull brisket. Don't judge me if I happen to eat a little bit while I'm pulling it. It's too good not to. Alrighty, there we go. So 2 pretty cards, no fussy cutting, but beautiful flowers thanks to the Hues of Happiness DSP and the Blossoming Happiness die set. Alright guys, I appreciate you spending part of your day with me. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you on Saturday for my YouTube video at 7 p.m. Eastern. Bye-bye.